Welcome everyone in this video podcast for the upcoming KVK that our Kingdom 5407 is about to enter. Today we will do KVK predictions with me, your host, Gleski, and we have a special guest today, Sun, who is a very important member of 3407. So Sun, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are exactly in this kingdom.
Well, thanks for having me on, mate. And yeah, I'm Sun from 3407. And basically, my role in the kingdom is it's where I'm needed, when I'm needed, and that can range from diplomacy to being king to recruiting. And currently, it's running the Ark of Osiris League team. So yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
How long have you been playing this game?
We're coming up on 974 days. So
Oh
yeah,
wow, that's like 3 years.
it's getting there. Yeah.
All right, so you've seen pretty much everything. So so the off season for the Kingdom was like 2 or 3 months, right? Was this your longest off season you had?
It's definitely the longest off season I've had. I've had some breaks when I was building my account, as it's brutal going into SOC. So I'd do a KVK2 and kind of do a KVK3, and then migrate back and do another KVK2 as I was developing my account. So there was some pretty long off seasons there, but as far as being in the same kingdom, this has definitely been my longest off season.
How are you excited about this? We're like 1 week away from entering Lost Kingdom. So what are your feelings?
I'm pretty pumped. We've definitely it's KVK5. It's the first one for the kingdom. It's a big test, and we've recruited well. We've structured the kingdom well, but until you get put up against some old seasoned kingdoms, you don't know how well you stack up. But I'm pretty excited, and yeah, I feel like we'll do okay.
So you would say we are entering the big boys league now.
Well, yeah, the cap's off, isn't it? We're in the big ocean, so it's time to see how well we've put everything together and prepared everyone. And
Yeah, exactly. And with that, let's go take a look at our camp overview. What kind of ocean we're going to be swimming in the next couple of months. So you can see on the screen. So we have 4 camps for KVK5. On the top left, fire camp with 4 kingdoms, 50 billion of power, 1.9 trillion kill points, and 1,000 members available to participate. On the top right, Earth Kingdom, 5 kingdoms, 67 billion, so a lot higher than Fire, but lower on KP by 200 million, well, 200 billion actually, and almost 400 more people available to participate. Wind Kingdom on the bottom right has 4 kingdoms, lowest amount of power from all four, only 45 billion, but highest kill points at 2 trillion and almost 1,000 people um, registered for KVK. And then we have Water Camp, which is our camp, 5 kingdoms, 64 billion, which is second highest in this KVK, and actually lowest in kill points, 1.4 trillion, but having pretty much, I would say, almost the highest number of people who can participate. So first question to you: Who are actually allies? I know you know. So can you tell to all of us who's allied with whom?
well, this KVK we've got our camp being water, and we're allied with the wind, and so it's bottom versus top, and we're going against fire and earth,
Right. So it's essentially it's 9 kingdoms versus 9 kingdoms in this KVK.
split down the middle.
Yeah,
Yep.
split down the middle.
So if you look between the two kingdoms, where we're fighting fire, you can see there's the green. That's zone 5. So either left
Okay.
to right of us is zone 5. So zone 5 will be a lot of action.
All right. So we will have fire against water and earth against wind in zone 5.
Yeah. Well, zone 6, as you see, as we come into zone 6, which is the next one up,
Okay. Next.
and we will have, yeah, and so we'll have some altar fights against fire, and then
Okay.
uh, then it's called path 7, and that's that little path that opens up, and that's when you can start actually invading each other's territories.
So what do you think if we go ahead into each of the kingdoms to see what are these kingdoms all about and who are warriors and who are deadweight. So this is a screenshot from the dashboard that everybody can access to view. And this is by kingdom. So Water Kingdom, our kingdom, we'll start with that. It's five kingdoms, and the most powerful one in terms of power is 1507. So this is the old kingdom, right? Very old kingdom indeed. And their power over the last year has been kind of like going up and down a little bit. They were around 15 billion, 15, 16 billion. But then I guess their recruitment results were really nice, and they jumped to 19, but they managed to maintain only 17 billion of power. However, their kill points have been rising steadily over the last year, which I would indicate as a a way of rotating players, but still getting fighters inside the kingdom, so we can still push the kill point up, which is a good indication of a healthy kingdom.
So 1507 have gone down the route of being an Asian. They're an Asian kingdom, and so they have essentially a lot of players from the same country. And what does that do to you when you're out fighting? It means you have a great uptime, then you have a downtime, and that's the problem with when you go all from the same area in the world. Uptime's brilliant, downtime's not so great. They're a traditionalist. Like they've gone down the route of they've got a lot of T5 farms. So
Mm,
I would
okay.
put 1507 as they're a more defensive kingdom. Um, if they want to lock down a flag or a fort and fill with farms, they can hurt the offensive team quite a lot by doing that. So they're a good solid ally. They are niche. They have that niche role of being on when a lot of kingdoms are actually in downtime. So it's a
Mhm.
good ally. Happy we got them.
So you
And
give
yeah,
them
that's
you give them a shield of a warrior in this case, right?
yeah.
All
I
right.
think so. Yeah.
So we have a warrior. Now, 13, 3407, this is us. Young Kingdom, I'm not gonna lie. But what data shows over the last year is actually amazing growth in terms of power. So, very, very fast growth indeed. And then hitting, I believe in the last KVK, we hit around 14 billion, which is where we are today. But the kill points have been growing even higher than the power, which I guess almost every young kingdom has this trait where everybody's so eager to fight and to enjoy. So they try to do their best. So I think our kingdom is in the still very high growth phase. But what is your take on the last after the last KVK when migration happened, the recruitment process was active? How do you feel our kingdom is positioned compared to the last KVK?
Well, this is the one kingdom I definitely know a lot about because some of these kingdoms I barely know anything about, and so it's interesting to see the graph of the power and the KP going up, and and then you go, well, have we plateaued after KVK4? And the answer is no, because through strict kingdom management, we've helped relocate players that their accounts weren't ready for the type of KVKs that we're going in to enter. So we had a massive amount of work, and they're quite a big team, helped relocate a majority of players that we could. Obviously, some don't quite understand it yet and have kicked their feet up a little bit, but so we've actually moved a lot of power out of the kingdom, and then through really good recruiting, we've brought in, and that's why you're seeing a KP jump, and
Which is a
then
significant
the
jump.
power, yeah, and the power is because we've traded. Like we might help relocate three players and bring in one player who had quadruple the amount of type of KP as them, and it's so the power in, power out, and it's something that the kingdom manages to make sure that we don't pull an Imperium kingdom, and it's not running away from Imperium kingdom. It's just they've built for 5 years. We need to be realistic about the growth of the kingdom and to make sure that we want to be an AC, but we definitely don't want to be pulling a 1960
Yeah.
type of style of kingdom.
Mm. That's
So,
true.
so as far as look, I'm excited with the recruitment and with the players that we've retained, and the extra long season has given some of the natives a bit more time to get the gear just a little bit better and get another march up and to restock, because we've come out of some heavy KVKs, so people have had the time to restock their resources and their speed ups. And geez, you could see a few 3407 boys in the ranks just
I
between you and
I
me.
hope we will. Yeah, I bet we will. No, that's excellent.
So
I believe there's no discussion.
yeah.
I mean, 3407 is a warrior kingdom. Probably, if you have to like assign a more defensive type of style, would you go more towards offensive for the kingdom compared to 1507?
We will definitely be more offensive than 1507, but the bread and butter is defense in this game.
Mhm.
You got to time your pushes and whatnot. So it's something that your best offense is defense. It's something that we continue to keep working on, and it's you don't know what the enemy is going to put up in front of you. There's definitely times, and that's where we have very good warlord and war planners. So we are definitely more offensive, probably one of the most offensive in our camp. But that doesn't mean we won't lock down a position and play defense. We'll play to the vibe of the war.
Well, the third kingdom, in terms of power changes, have been on a bit of a roller coaster in the last year. 2459 power up, went up, went down, went up, went down. Pretty much, I would say every KVK. So what is your take on this kingdom as part of our team?
We're getting into some deep water because five kingdoms in a camp is wild. 18 in a KVK is crazy. So we're still getting around and meeting and greeting them, but I think it's another solid ally. I've seen some of their garrisons, great rallies, and they're gonna play their part definitely. Yeah.
Warrior kingdom from our
Oh
point
yeah.
of view. And then the last two kingdoms, they're more of a grouped together. Similar power, similar KP, similar body count here, and also relatively younger kingdoms, right? Not so young as we
And
are, but surely.
yeah, relatively. Yeah. And they're wildly different because I've had the opportunity to learn a bit about these two kingdoms, and they're wildly different kingdoms, which is puts the cherry on the top for our camp. Well, if we have a look at 43, they've got good activity around the clock. They have a small downtime. Uh, they've see this is where stats can be sometimes misleading. You will look at them and go, they're a lot smaller than that, but they appear to have a really good kingdom management and have stripped down their kingdom and are a really good fighting unit. They're aggressive. They're field fighters. They love getting amongst it. Not so much. They're an offensive kingdom. And then if we go to the other kingdom, which is 3066, they're the complete opposite. They're a lockdown, defensive, garrison, hold a position kingdom. It just complements. I find the whole camp like I might be a bit biased, but from what I've seen, it's five warriors in the one camp that bring different things to the table, and when you put them together and play as one kingdom, as you should in a KVK, we really go around the clock well. We have a mixture of defensive and offensive style kingdoms, and it's on paper we might look like one of maybe the worst camp, and I think in the KVK, and I think I think fire's in for a bit of a rude awakening.
Yeah. So what do you know about the time zones of 3066 and 43? All right. Well, that's I think the most important thing here is that we have five warrior kingdoms, as you said, complementing each other in their style of play. And and yeah, Fire Kingdom is going to get a rude awakening. Talking about fire, fire is here. And I mean, water beats fire. So talking about fire here, uh, also another extremely old kingdom on the fire camp, 1184, very stable power rankings in the last year, climbing kill points. So going into KVK, leaving, and still, I would guess maintaining their core player base, so we don't have to do much of a cleaning in-house. So what do you think about
I
the most
think
this
it's a
kingdom?
very I think it's a big, bad, hard hitting kingdom. I think they're around the clock, and they've got big boys.
Big
They've
boy
got big
kingdom.
KP. They've got big power. They're gonna hit hard. They're gonna hurt.
Well, that is definitely a warrior kingdom in that camp, the biggest warrior kingdom in the camp, no doubt.
Yeah.
Um, then the other two kingdoms, well, actually, 1368 is, I mean, also a huge roller coaster in power. So KVK migration has been their, I guess, pain each season. But KP seems to be climbing. So would you also think that they've been doing a bit of like a
I have a
cleaning?
theory. Yeah, I have a theory, and it's with 1368 and 1706. I'm gonna split this. I'm
Okay,
gonna say 1368 is a warrior kingdom. They've
all
definitely
right.
got on the paper. They've got the accounts. They definitely can hurt you. And I'm gonna go Deadweight for 1706, and I'll tell
Oh,
you why.
well, first Deadweight.
I suspect, and this is why I've split it, because I've noticed that 68 has a little bit more. But when you look at these, I could be wrong. They look like Asian kingdoms. I've played in a Chinese kingdom. I played in a Russian kingdom, and I'm going somewhere with this. Some of these kingdoms don't value KVK so highly. They'll come out and have a bit of a fight, but they're not willing to go down and fight to the death because they're Ark of Osiris focused. And I
Hmm.
suspect, looking at 1706, I could be wrong, and this is going to be my big call for the KVK. I don't. I think they're an Ark kingdom, and I also suspected that 1368 might be as well. But I'm going to split it. I definitely looked at 706. I counted the amount of counts they had. They have enough to put an arc team up, and they have enough for backups, and then it drops off. It's the same with 1368, but they do carry a few more. They've got the accounts. And in this game, obviously, you don't know who's running the account. You don't know who built it, and you don't know who currently owns it because there is a swap of accounts. So
Hmm. Hmm.
my big prediction here is I do think that 1706, possibly 1368, Ark of Osiris Kingdoms. I think they're going to have. I think they're both going to be on at the same time, and I think they're both going to go. They have big up time, big off time. And I think that
Okay.
is, in a nutshell, Fire's weakness.
But if after this Osiris League tournament, if both of these teams, lose, don't you think that they would then go participate more actively in KVK?
Look, I think that they want to win KVKs. They want to get the inscriptions, but it's not just Osiris League. It's also Arc, the normal Arc that's played every fortnight. And I
Okay.
tell you what's hugely important in Arc is troop numbers.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
and I've played in kingdoms. I played in one Russian kingdom where they said we don't want you losing troops in KVK. We don't care about KVK. We are an Arc kingdom. They were honest and upfront about it. I did migrate away from there. Um, as much as I enjoy playing Arc, I preference KVK over it.
Hmm.
And so, in seeing that, and I've seen other kingdoms, a Chinese kingdom I was briefly in, it was very similar. And they valued their power more. So when you see some of the big boys, and I've seen people get accounts that they didn't build, so it's a fake DKP.
Hmm.
You look at a
Hmm.
player, you go, look at his power, look at his KP. Oh my god. Yeah, no, it's cheaper to buy an account than it is to build an account. And once you've got that power, you're not really wanting to let it go. Now, I could be wrong, but this is my I'm going to put my neck out here and say I think that one of these kingdoms is that. and I could be wrong, and they'll make me pay for it. But that's my take, and
We
then
will
I
see.
guess
We will
we've
see.
got the 2569, and they are dead weight.
Deadweight. Why? I mean, we not looking at the power, and the power is lowest of all the kingdoms participating. But I mean, their kind of ratio between the eligible accounts and skill points is actually pretty good. So why do you think they're deadweight?
I think they're different. I don't think they're meant to be in this KVK. I not. We're a few of us sat down and tried to work out Lilith's new matchmaking system. Now they are classed as a DC kingdom.
Hmm?
I think they're the only DC kingdom that's been put into this KVK. There's not. There's nothing. I've had a bit of a look at their kingdom. I'm not seeing accounts that I'm just not seeing it.
So you think they're essentially
And
will get steamrolled when the fight breaks out?
they I don't think are going to do much at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, this if this is true what you're saying about fire camp, it does not look good for the camp. I mean, honestly, like two
No.
fighting two warrior kingdoms and two deadweight. I mean, as you said, fire camp might get a rude awakening in this KVK.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Now, moving on to one of our friends here, Windcamp. Four Kingdoms, starting off with 22666. High power, high KP, lots of people here. So, what do you know about our allies here in the Wind front?
So now we're getting it's a little bit tough because we can start with the 2666 kingdom. They're the strongest kingdom in this KVK. They've got krakens. They've got they're gonna cook.
Supplementing 2666 is a bit of a younger kingdom, which is relatively high in power compared to the rest two, is 3457, which is actually younger than we are, um, but not weaker, I believe. Growing, looks like a good fighting kingdom. So what do you know about these lads?
It really tapes off now. What do we know about? They're a young, solid kingdom. It's we're really stretching a bit here because, like I said, the limited time to learn about every single kingdom. It's
It's all right.
but I'm going to put them as a warrior kingdom. I think that for the age, the power, KP's not too bad. I think that they'll turn up.
It's the spirit of youth, we can say, is running within this
Yes.
kingdom. Right. And the last two are a bit of a older kingdoms here, but the power is relatively low. 9 billion, 8 billion. Do you
Yeah.
think 2431 and 1689 are more of a declining kingdoms because every kingdom runs through the cycle, or is it more about cleaning and getting rid of people who stop participating or stop playing altogether?
Yeah, and that's the unknown where we get to. They could be very they could have just stripped right back and just be full of just fighters. And that's where the power you go, but the KP look 1689, 8 million power, 460 KP for the age of the kingdom. They are allies, but I'm gonna have to say they might be dead weight.
And what about 2431?
2431.
I mean, it's even lower on kill
Jeez.
points. I mean, it's kind of like,
But they got a bit more age. But it's look, they've got activity. They've got activity, which they've shown. So, it's such a brutal thing. The real only, just to be clear to our listeners, so far that Kingdom in Fire, the DC Kingdom, that's the only one I would say is true dead weight,
all
which
right,
is
it's 20,
But
25.
you've only given me two options, so I've had to.
No,
If there
it's a
was
bit
a third
pushing.
option,
It's a bit pushing.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
if there was a third option, at the moment there'd only be that dead weight, only the one. But
We can probably lean. Is it
look,
going to be towards fighting or towards farming or dying?
yeah, and 3-1. Wow.
Something in the middle. So you know what?
It's something in the middle because I
Oh,
like their activity. I like their activity. And they seem like an active kingdom, and it's probably a really happy kingdom. I don't know how much firepower they have under the bonnet,
hmm.
but that's what we're gonna find out.
So we can say they could
definitely.
be warrior, they could be deadweight.
Yep.
It's something in the middle. So we'll see. Not too much time left to wait. And now the last camp, which is Earth, and this one is going against the wind. Our allies has a lot of kingdoms in here. Five kingdoms. All of them are actually old. The youngest kingdom is 2305.
Yeah. This could get ugly, to be
for
honest.
for the wind camp that is, because you guys
For
look
Earth, I think
so.
that Earth has the first one, 2029, is a warrior kingdom.
Which I actually forgot to add here, but we'll give them a mark next to their
Yeah,
name here. Definitely War Kingdom.
warrior kingdom. And I'll make this really simple. I think the other four are dead weight. When you look at their power, you look at their KP, it's not good.
Ooh, okay.
And
Well,
I think that they're going to get absolutely smashed by Windcamp.
just because of no support for 2029.
Yeah. Um,
Okay.
and 2029 versus, 666. I think that's what the kingdoms are. The big kingdom
Yeah.
from Wind is.
26,
Yeah.
66 is the big boy.
Like that. Yeah. They're gonna hurt. Like that's So I think that 266 is the biggest, and then the fires 1184, and then I would honestly, we're gonna find out, but I would then put 3407 as the third, and yeah, and then the leader of Earth's camp as the fourth. So, but I think that it's gonna get messy. I think that Wind are gonna bash Earth up.
Well, every KVK is a little bit of messy, and hopefully it is. That's what makes it so exciting. So let's make our nomination. Um, four nominations here. Which camp will get most kill points, deaths, honor points, and who will be the farmers of this KVK? So we'll start with you, son. Kill points. Which camp will beat the shit out of everybody else?
Water.
I am also going to be with water because when we I mean I'm not biased or anything, a little bit, but I mean we saw right some camps have potentially dead weights, and then water even
Yeah.
though not the most powerful or the biggest boys, everybody's active. So there could be a
That's why I'll be like that's why I think that Wind is gonna win their side way quicker,
Mhm.
and there's a massive potential for Water and Fire to get into a war in Zone 5,
Mhm.
and the toss up was maybe Fire gets the most KP, but it's we have some more numbers, so yeah, I think Water, the numbers game will prevail.
So what about deaths? What is your prediction?
The most deads are gonna go to Fire.
Fire. Oh, they hopefully we have a good bank of troops for the KVK. I think that's I think I don't agree with fire, especially considering that if two of their kingdoms are more arc focused, I don't think there'll be enough people to kill. But I think Earth will have the most deaths in this KVK, which is just my take. I don't think that water will be first. I still think will be more of a offensive kingdom, but Earth might get a bit, you know, painful. Just because they're against wind. Um, Now, if we talk about deaths, let's talk about farmers. So, which kingdom will be a farm kingdom? Well, which camp will be farms?
Jeez,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go straight
gotta Earth.
and be unpopular. I'm gonna say fire. Fire will be
Wow.
farming and doing nothing. They will win
I,
in
I I
farm game.
think I think that Earth might farm.
Okay. After
Yep.
they're bashed by the wind camp.
Yeah. Back to farming for them.
All right. And honor points. So these are your PVE lovers, right? And well,
Oh.
participants and altars, forts, etc. Isn't that a numbers
Uh
game?
it's got a. I think it's water. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's a numbers game for honor. The more people you have active, the more honor you will accumulate as a camp. I think water.
And
So, and now finally, the most important one is the winners of this KVK. So if we have top versus bottom, fire with earth versus water with wind. So who's the winner?
The winner is water and wind.
And I have to go with you on this one. I also agree. So there's no need to split. We'll just say water and wind. Fighters are part of water and wind camps, but earth seems to be too weak on water and fire. If it's true that they're playing more for Osiris, they might just get a rude awakening, right? So
And it's yeah, it's such a toss up, like I said, with those two Asian kingdoms in fire, whether they're going to come out and and really set us on fire, or if one of those or two of those kingdoms are more arc focused.
this is the
Yeah,
wild card, right, of this KVK. If fire,
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if all of them are participating, they might smack everyone.
Well, I hope fire turns up full capacity, and because we're itching for a fight, we want the fight. What O7's history is, and how we know how to fight. If you want to get into a dog fight with us for 3 or 4 days, we'll meet you on the fifth day. It's as simple as that. We're very good at managing our speed ups and resources, making sure we're not drained for Kingsland. But Fire's got to carry Earth, and if they get into a big dog fight with us, and then they go to Kingsland, uh, you know, 2/3 drained. When wind comes in, it's not pretty.
One interesting question from the siege community here about siege towers in KVK. In the last couple of KVKs, we have not seen this because they were not so popular. But now this is changing. So are you anticipating a wall of towers blocking camp advancements in those field fights? And I mean, is there any internal discussion on how to deal with a wall of ballistas shooting?
Well, we are privileged that there are Chinese Rise of Kingdom servers, so we can get a bit of a sneak peek into the future of metas. But I think that lid's off on Siege now, and Siege are meta. They're becoming meta. They are meta. You need to start making siege marches. It doesn't mean everyone should rush out because it's an investment, but kingdoms do need siege marches. Um, there is a big shift in the way the field fighting is being played. And I've observed some big KVKs that actually jumped on a friend's account just to get a feel for it recently in the one of the big KVKs happening at the moment. And I noticed even at altar fights, I was counting 28 siege to 35 siege combined at each fight. From both sides had them, they were propped up, and they were sitting at the back just chewing away. And I was watching that for 15, 20 minutes. I was watching a siege, multiple siege marches, not having to refresh. So I think that siege is here. I don't think it's going anywhere. And how do you combat it? Well, you get your siege. Because any battle that's even and the pushing is not, you're not steamrolling your enemy. If you don't have a siege, you're going to be getting hit by them.
So fight fire with fire, essentially.
You either get on meta or you get chewed by it.
Oh, all right. That one we heard before. So thank you, Son. This is a great review of this KVK. Hopefully, all our kingdom members will watch this video, prepare for this KVK, which will start, I believe, next week. So it's only 1 week away.
It's time to fire up the crystal tech and shiny up your armor and get amongst it.
Right. So with that, we finish, and I'll see you on the battlefield.
Cheers. Thanks for having me on, Devsky. See you, mate.
See ya. Bye bye.